What does a company need to get right architecturally before they can even think about usage-based pricing?
Yeah, I like that you're asking this question because it has a nice recognition, by the way, that there's a meaningful architectural investment that you have to make with usage-based billing. It's not like a simple thing you could YOLO away. You're going to have to meter and you're going to have to count something, right? So the things that you are counting, right, we call them product events. People give them different names, but typically events, I think, is a pretty common name. That you need to ensure that the product that you built can actually emit those events that you want to count. On day zero, as you're building your product, you have to have your monetization model in mind, right? Because your product needs to emit the right events, right? In a way that those events can be tagged and those events can be understood and those events can be ID'd. They can then be metered, right? Which is taking these raw events and turning them into usage records. Then they can be rated, right? Which is like turning them into dollars. So are you building your rating engine? Are you going to use a third-party rating engine? Are you building your own metering engine? Are you going to use a third-party rating engine? You're definitely responsible for emitting your product events. Before billing, we actually still have to think about entitlements, right? Are you building your own entitlement system? Entitlements being like, what do I have access to? What do I not? Then we've got billing, which is turning basically your rating charges into invoices. And then finally thinking about, making sure that your billing system can flow down into your finance system so you can prove we sold this usage, we turned this usage into billable usage, and that's actually revenue. And we agree with all parts of the equation. There's not usage that leaked somewhere. There's not usage that was stolen somewhere. So you need to think about that chain of events, metering, rating, entitlements, billing, and finance, and then figure out these are the portions that I really want to own in-house. I'd really like a third party to do all of this for me. And setting up that architecture, making sure that the product that you built can emit the right events with the right pricing model, right revenue growth profile that you want is just very critically important.
Let's say I'm building an AI company. I'm curious what counts as usage because everybody's talking about tokens. Are tokens just really like a proxy for something though?
If you rewind back to the days of the public cloud, everyone decided that they were going to meter on a virtual core per minute. As granularity increased, it was basically like a virtual core per second. And that was an easier problem because people were just trying to proxy on-premise workloads to the cloud, right? So what I like about tokens is that tokens can be just a common currency across AI workloads, but they can be worth different things depending on the workload.
It's like multi-currency almost. Like you could have British pound, you could have US dollar.
I don't think of it almost as like British pounds and US dollars. I sort of think of it with a little bit of a different analogy. It's like the same water bottle that you are buying at a grocery store versus, I don't know, in front of your favorite World Cup stadium, right? Costs more in front of the World Cup stadium, right? Because it's more valuable in that context, right? You're really thirsty. There's no other water. They're not letting water in, whatever they're doing over there. The thing with tokens is we can say, well, gosh, an output token is always worth more than an input token, right? Because it performs a certain function that we all believe is valuable, right? Or vice versa. So I would think of it more of we're creating value buckets on tokens. It's like, well, these kinds of tokens are always worth more because they're more special and they cost more versus these. What I like about having one currency of tokens is that if everybody norms on tokens, you can compare vendors a lot more easily. So it simplifies the buying cycle. It's like, well, all of you guys are selling output tokens. Why is this output token more expensive? Right? And then people have to explain. I think it's still early days, but at least from the last big usage-based billing wave, which was public cloud, this is exactly what happened, where there was a few units that were selected and people basically baselined on these units and sometimes were more expensive, some were below, and people explained why.
You mentioned earlier that billing was in many ways a module within the ERP and it was very much back office. Today, it feels like it's not only a finance system, but part of the product. Is that true?
Partially, I think the modules that are leaving the ERP are the modules that need flexibility or more product awareness. I do not believe that the ERP is going to be replaced. I just think that the ERP is getting unbundled because it is a batch system, and there are some systems that are very monetization facing that need to be real time. because of everything that we talked about, with usage-based billing and entitlements. This hasn't happened yet, right? But like I think like CPQ is going to get unbundled from like the CRM and the ERP. I think that has to move, right? This is not a really good fit CPQ for usage-based billing or hybrid billing. Revenue recognition is going to completely move out of the ERP that's already started. Accounts receivable automation, like particularly with AI, like being able to just automate the really rote tasks of AR automation, which is like, oh, the invoice number is like not correct. Like, let's fix that and we can collect. And entitlements, I think all that stuff's going to move out of the ERP.
It feels like the ERP is becoming a system of record while billing is becoming more of the operational layer or more of an orchestration layer. Is that true?
I don't see a world where like there's a general ledger that lives outside of the ERP. Like not soon, never say never, right? But I think the general ledger continues to be in the ERP. The account and close is just I struggle to see that coming out of the ERP. Like that is a very ERP first function. But these functions that need to move at more product speed, I think those functions necessarily have to move to the billing system.
Is there any part of the billing process you think that creates the most tension between a CFO and a CPO?
Particularly like in this moment that we're in, it feels like monetization is like more topical than ever. I think CFOs want to move faster than what CPOs are able to move. Right? Because of all the CPOs and engineering teams, because of all the complexity that we talked about before, right? It is actually like a really hard technology problem to be able to own the entire end-to-end chain of like product events all the way down to billing, including getting everything right in the middle on entitlements. Whenever a CFO is like really eager to go light up a net new pricing model, like I think there's like a little bit of tension around like, well, okay, like the billing system can only do these 3 things and we have to write some glue code to do these 2 things. And then we can get out in the next 3 months in this new pricing or 1 month or whatever it is. I think there's a tension around like velocity. Everybody wants to move much faster on pricing, but systems are tough here.
Maximore, get your Maximore here. Sorry, I just came from selling Cracker Jacks at the ballpark. Everyone in finance is adopting AI right now. The problem? It's a dozen disconnected tools. Yeah, one for revenue, one for AP, one for the close, and each one needs training and documentation. And the expertise to run them lives in your head, not the systems. Maximore takes the opposite approach. One autonomous finance platform for the whole operation. Order to cash, procure to pay, the close, cash management, and reporting. It all runs on a unified finance context that pulls from your ERP, billing, banks, even email and Slack. No rip and replace. Maximore runs on self-learning agents that learn how your team already works. No prompts to wire, no workflows to build, nothing to document. Every output is audit ready, and when a call needs human judgment, it escalates for review because the agents optimize, not just execute, and your KPIs keep on improving. One PE-backed customer posted 98% of transactions straight to their ERP, no error rate. The other 2% go to a human before posting. You pay only for real outcomes, not seats. See it at maximore.ai. That is MAXIMOR.ai.